Hey, deserving listeners, sister wives, let's watch.
There's enough involved that I have to just trust fate, either way.
I have let the fear get to me. My children are...
So I don't have enough room in that trailer. I have to get another trailer or a truck.
Well, we're gonna look very obviously like we're moving then. Listen, we take bunk beds and we take clothes and dishes. That's all we need.
It's looking more and more like he has been rushing this decision, but maybe it's for a legitimate reason, given the legal consequences. They keep doling out these details of like, well, now the prosecutor is about to file the paperwork or something, and I guess I'll take their word for it, but I don't know if they would be able to predict the next step and whether or not they would even know that information. But anyway, then everyone seems to be resisting. I guess if they could speak now, they might say, well, I was 100%, I was 99% on board, but there's a little bit of worry and loss that I was expressing that they caught on camera. But a lot of the kids are not wanting to go. They also the adults have sprung it on them with 3 days to prepare emotionally and physically to leave. So that's rough in a lot of ways. I mean, I think the kids knew that they were likely moving, but anyway. But yeah, the way it looks more and more, well, so yeah, the way that the sister wives are reacting, I have to assume that they know what he knows, and they don't seem to be as rushed. Maybe he's just more paranoid about the police. I don't know. So I don't know. It just looks more and more like he is on this, path, and a lot of other people are not, at least wanting to go as fast. And I haven't been showing the clips, but I feel more and more sad and bad for the kids. The kids really seem to be suffering through this. I was running on the assumption that they're homeschooled and they're like the Plaths and they don't really have friends, but they clearly do. And a lot of them are very, very much not wanting to go. And it sounds like some of the individuals are thinking, maybe we should stay. Can we stay? And then he goes on this whole thing of, well, I'm the leader. I mean, he doesn't say it like that directly, but essentially he's saying that, I'm responsible for you, and God wants us to be together, and this is what's happening. And it just, I just want to say, well, yeah, God wants you to be together. Okay, well, then stay, or at least wait until people are ready to go, or take the time to explain to everyone your decision-making process so that everyone can feel good about it. I don't know. It just, something's rotten in Denmark, I think. Or he is doing what's right, but he's stressed out, so he doesn't have time, and everyone's just struggling emotionally. I don't know. What do you think?
We'll be on the road, that we can be stopped, and it's going to be obvious to anybody who's really concerned about it. In the end, we can only make assumptions.
Unless I get a vibe that we need to leave Monday, I'm sorry. I plan on leaving Tuesday morning.
Why? Because you and Robin just decided it when you were over there?
No.
Sorry, I'm just asking.
Whether the fear is real or...
Each person seems to have a different place that they're coming from. Janelle is worried about the police. She's been seeing things and wondering about things that they're about to, the helicopters and the ATF is going to arrive and haul them all off to jail, is where Janelle's coming from. But we just heard something interesting, very interesting, that Mary said, like, oh, so you and Robin decided? Is that what's happening? That's illuminating. Let's rewind that.
That we can be stopped, and it's going to be obvious to anybody who's really concerned about it. In the end, we can only make assumptions.
Unless I get a vibe that we need to leave Monday, I'm sorry. I plan on leaving Tuesday morning.
Why? Because you and Robin just decided it when you were over there?
No.
Sorry, I'm just asking.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just asking. it seems like there's some landscape there that she knows that she's stepping into, and meaning that Mary knows that that's going to get some pushback. I'd be curious as to what's going on there. But so he's saying he wants to leave a little later, and other people are saying they want to leave now, and he's saying that Robin, anyway. But the tone that Mary was using, and maybe it's a temporary thing, because I don't know the time. I don't know how much time has passed. There's snow and whatnot, so maybe it's only been a few months of them together. But this is second season. I don't know. But at the very least, it's in the beginning of his relationship with Robin. Is Mary commenting on something that's real? Like there's a coalition between him and Robin, which I would say is fine. They're married, but but of course, if you have 4 wives, I don't know.
Whether the fear is real or not, whether it's rational or not, I am worried.
No, they just drove by again. Rebecca just saw Lehigh police drive by again.
Yeah, so now the kids are terrified. All the police are just driving by. And, and then I just wonder again, I'll say it again, was it a good idea to even go on the show? Is it a good idea for the producers to have even had them on the show? There seems to be a lot of suffering going on.
This is one of the most emotionally packed experiences this family has ever had.
Hurry!
So a police siren goes by and everybody starts to panic. And I'm just like, this is getting spooky and it's not good. And we're being paranoid. Let's just pray.
15. Right here, everybody gather up. Come on. 60.
I don't know. It feels like manipulation to the audience. There's been a lot of previews of that scene of the siren, and then they're turning around, and I was watching, and I finally saw the resolution of that, and it's likely that siren was inserted. So that makes me wonder about this whole thing. But anyway, it sounds like they're actually moving. They're all packed up, so looks like they're going.
I get this light flashing on Kobe's car, and I pulled off, and as I got off, you could see where the tire had pretty much just come off the rim.
Trying to call tire places.
So I bring Logan with me, and we get there, and the tire's shredded.
Seem to be a lot of car troubles in this family. Either they're unlucky, or there's some hazards to cars in Utah, or it's shenanigans. I mean, it'd be hard to manufacture the shredding of a tire. Well, I guess you could make it flat and then it would shred. But anyway, I've been showing all the scenes in which, in various episodes, that the cars are having troubles. At the very least, this isn't necessary to show us unless it builds that tension of like, oh my God, they're coming to get him, which I imagine is not necessarily true.
Start it for me, okay? We get that done, and we start driving off again.
Oh no, did something happen?
I don't know.
We haven't gone a full 1 mile, and Christine gets a flat tire in the van.
I'm trying to think of how many times I've had a flat tire where it actually affects driving. The kinds of flat tires that I would get would be just these very slow leaks that you would have to periodically fill it up at the gas station. But just like a blowout, that happened to me once, kind of recently actually. Someone actually pulled up next to me and was like, your tire. And I was like, huh? I'm trying to think if there's another time. I don't know, maybe the roads. I think in roads when you have snow and then they put down salt and sand and stuff, maybe it's harder. Or they haven't been keeping up to date on their renewals for the tires. I don't know. But and I suppose, if you're looking for like, well, maybe God's trying to tell you something, there's been talk along those lines. It's like, please God, show me a sign of what we should do. And then they keep getting all these car troubles and they're like, God, please just give us any old sign. We just want to know what your wishes are for us. Another flat tire, lightning bolt strikes the car. Please God, just any sign. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. So whether we're aware of it or not, we are often comparing ourselves to other people. Like, hey, that friend's marriage, it seems better than mine, or that friend is thinner than me. And these comparisons are natural, but when they become more intense, it's often due to an ongoing feeling of inadequacy. Of course, therapy can help with this. It's one of the easiest things to work on in therapy, really. These comparisons are often just below the surface, and when we take the time in therapy to investigate these automatic thoughts, we are given a chance to really look at these and change these patterns. Well, one place you can find a therapist is at BetterHelp. If you're thinking of starting therapy, it's definitely worth giving a try. So stop comparing and start focusing with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Kirk today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Kirk.
That was smaller and cheaper. But ultimately, regardless of maybe that we give and take a little bit economically, she deserved to have the home that was important to her.
Just the fact that I have less kids, it seems like I don't deserve as many perks, I guess, as you.
So I haven't been reacting, but they are in Vegas now, and they're living in a rental for a month, and they're scrambling to find permanent rentals for all four of them. And originally, the plan was that the houses would be really close, maybe next door to each other, but the agent can't provide that, can't find that. That'd be weird if four houses on the same street were up for rental. So they're looking at houses all over the place, pretty far away from each other, and everyone has to adjust to that. It's very different for everyone, and the kids are no longer going to be essentially living together. But it sounds like some of the kids are maybe thinking, maybe it'd be nice to have my own space, less chaotic. I don't know. So it seems like maybe there's some pluses to that. It seems like the main loser is going to be Cody, because he talks about how, up until this point, he would just rotate through and he would say goodbye to every wife every night. He'd say goodnight to every wife every night. And he would, I guess, now have to drive across town 4 times. I don't know. It doesn't seem very practical. It also makes me wonder about the cohesion of the family and the cohesion of the marriages, because it's one thing to live in a giant house together. And another thing that Cody was saying a while back was, he's like, I don't understand it. Like, even if you have a large house available in Vegas, it's still only 5 bedrooms. And I'm thinking, well, yeah. And then he says, in our part of the country, in Utah, in rural Utah, they have these giant homes with like 15 bedrooms. And I'm thinking, well, maybe there's a reason for that, but yeah, just because you have a 10,000 square foot home doesn't, the assumption is not, oh, this is for a polygamous family with 4 wives and each of them have, 1 to 7 children. So, he seemed astonished by that, like it was sort of brand new to him. Which, okay, fine, but anyway, so. Mary now is talking about how she feels pressure to be in a smaller house because it'll just be her and her daughter, Meredith, right? Is that her name? And, they're trying to work out the money situation. And I think Janelle is in support of this. And Mary's saying, but why should I have to live in a tiny little place? And Mary's also expressing, maybe an ongoing issue of I've always been lesser because I only have one kid. I've always been second rate because of that, or I'm less important or something, and you could see that being a part of it, right? So, in her wing, it would always just be her and Mariah. So, if her and Mariah weren't around, it would be less noticeable, right? So, you could imagine that taking a toll, but I'm not hearing any kind of dysfunction. It's just, I think, a product of their circumstance. But anyway, we're seeing a lot of detail, and I'll skip forward because there's not really much for me to talk about.
I think the kids are very happy with it, and I'm not happy with it.
One of the downsides to my house is that it is a mile away from everybody else's homes.
Okay, I'm glad we're getting a map finally. So we have 3 homes. Presumably this is not the actual map, so that they're not doxed, although it wouldn't be hard to figure out since they're showing the exteriors. But okay, so Christine, Robin, and Janelle all live pretty close. Looks like at least walking distance, and Mary is, I think there was like a mile, I think she said a mile away. So, that's also walking distance-ish. So, yeah, it's unfortunate for Mary. She's expressed that she feels left out, and, it'd be quite a change for her because she was always considered to be the leader in a lot of ways, and so now she's like, it's got to be a huge adjustment for her and her daughter.
Mary, you guys feel like I'm giving you more by having you this far apart from each other?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Honestly, it scares the heck out of me that you two are more comfortable in separate homes. I'm not comfortable with it. It seems like separate families on a level, and I want my family to be one family altogether.
Okay, so he's saying he would rather have them all in one house, and at least some of the wives are saying they actually like being on their own and feel like they can bond more with him when he comes over, because from the sound of it, they get more real alone time, because in the past he would be in their wing, but it sounds like, there would be a lot of togetherness. And so for Christine and Mary, they're saying we actually like it this way. And, it's the initial phase, and some of them are saying they kind of like having some space, some distance. And he's saying he's the one that is wishing to have them all under one roof. That's interesting.
Get a pregnancy test and see what's going on. So we took this pregnancy test, and all of a sudden he stops and he goes, "We're pregnant." And just tears.
Okay, so it sounds like Robin is pregnant. All right, so another kid.
He can be kind of a reminder of the intimacy between your husband and his wife.
Do you have 2 minutes?
Yes,
Talk for a second.
I do.
Hopefully everybody will be okay with it. A little nervous.
Okay.
Private talk?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, well, that's the end of season 2. So they're leaving us on a cliffhanger between seasons. That's interesting. I'm sure Mary's fine. I'm sure it's hard. I'm guessing it'll be hard for her for the reasons that they all imagine, but Mary isn't one of the people. I'm sure she'll recover and not treat other people like crap. Anyway. Okay. So, I'm trying to go faster through this, but the episodes are kind of long. There's a lot of things going on. Because I'm trying to pace this out well so that I can get through this in a timely manner. But I don't know. There's a lot happening. So I say that because I just looked it up. There's 18 seasons, and I think some of y'all might be wanting me to react to like season 15 or something down the line, and it'll take me a while to get there. So I'm trying to go as fast as I can, but I have to watch it. You know what I mean? I can't just like skip everything. And I could, I guess, just not comment on it, which I haven't been really, but I still have to sit through the whole show. So it's still going to take me a lot of time. I mean, I don't know why I'm apologizing. No one's yelling at me or anything. I'm just trying to ride that line, and just know that I'm doing my best to ride that line. Some people want me to comment on a lot of things, and some people want me to get to a particular scene. There's different voices, different preferences, and I sort of average all that out to try to please everybody some of the time, I guess is the way to put it. Like I said, no one's yelling at me, and I don't know. It's just interesting because I've never been faced with 18 full seasons of a show that I am like focusing on, so it's a little daunting, and I don't know how to approach it exactly, but I'm finding my way, and I hope that you're okay with that. And everyone out there, please take care of yourself. Let me summarize season 2. I took notes on season 2. I've been trying to keep track of highlights. So they came out at the beginning of the season, New York City trip, the TV shows. I think the first season was aired at that point, I'm guessing. They go to Wyoming. The daughter fell off a horse. That looked pretty rough. And Cody, I don't know how to react to his reaction. He seemed to be like, yeah, just walk it off. But if I were there, I'd be like, because she was complaining about severe back pain. And, people die by falling off horses. So if I were there, I'd be like, whoa, like, let's wait, just let her, there's no reason, she doesn't have to get up. A train isn't coming, just maybe the pain will subside, and let's take it easy. But he was immediately just trying to get her up. But when I was young, that's what everyone did. I'm guessing people would say, well, he should know now, but I don't know. Not everyone understands the risks of back injury, and I wasn't there. Maybe it was clear that it wasn't like a broken bone or anyway. So anyway, she fell off a horse, so I felt bad for her. She eventually got medical attention. One of the grandmothers was a nurse. Anyway, but there were also some other statements that I'm forgetting. Anyway, there were money problems. Mary gets fired. Robin becomes a stay-at-home mom, which is different for her. The cops are coming, move to Vegas, lots of car troubles. There were car troubles on the way to Wyoming, too, I believe. Christine says she doesn't want to move, and she doesn't want to be ruled by fear. Janelle wants to go right away. Cody, puts his foot down and makes an executive decision. And then later in one of their interviews, Cody is like, I'm sorry, I was being the bad guy. And Mary is reassuring him. It's like, no, you're good. You did the right thing. So, I guess we were witnessing a tense situation. You film anyone going through a move, particularly with all the logistics and the kids and the threat of going to prison, you're going to see some tense, bad mood behaviors. So it all kind of looked like that. There was a lug nut situation that looked pretty difficult and frustrating. And we saw him become unglued, and he was, getting testy with people, but it didn't seem out of control. Mary seemed to believe that Robin and Cody were having a coalition. At least that was what the edit was. And they all move into 4 houses. And the women all seem to be adjusting, which I assume that means that the kids are also, because they seem to advocate for the kids. So I can't imagine any of the sister wives being happy while the kids were being upset. So I'm guessing that the kids are mostly okay, maybe even preferring to have their own homes. Yeah, it's interesting to think. Well, if there's 18 seasons, presumably they're all still together, so I guess they last. But if this is all I knew, I would wonder if this would begin to create distance and lack of cohesion between the sister wives, right? And maybe suspicion or resentment about each other. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. And everyone, please, I don't know why I'm doing this with my hands, but I am. Take care of yourself. I know why I'm saying that, because I do. I want you to take care of yourself, because you do. You deserve it. Take care of yourself, please. Or not. Don't do it on my account. Do it if you want to, because you deserve it if you want. But, you don't have to put any effort in anything you don't want to. You deserve that agency. Unlike, I won't go down that road. Take care.